What's up everyone, my name is Nicollete. For those of you who don't know me, I am a body piercer and tattoo artist at Spiritual Journey Tattoo in Stanton, California. Today I'm going to talk to you about choosing the right jewelry for your septum piercing. So this is kind of after the healing period has already finished and you're ready to switch it out and maybe try some new things. So the first thing to think about is the size of the jewelry. So you want to know what size you got pierced with. The across the board standard is usually a 16 gauge, but some piercers will go as small as an 18 gauge. Some piercers will go as big as a 14 gauge. So it is important to communicate with your piercer, let them know the styles that you're wanting to lean more towards, and then also just confirm with them what size you got pierced with. The next step is going to be choosing the diameter. So this will make more sense as I talk about the styles of jewelry, but typically choosing the diameter is the diameter of the hoop. So if you remember from geometry class or math class, the diameter of a circle is one end of the circle to the other end of the circle. So it's the same with jewelry. When you're looking at a hoop, it's one side of the hoop to the other side of the hoop. And at Urban Body Jewelry, we offer hoops in all kinds of diameters from 16 millimeter all the way down to 6 millimeter. So depending on how loose or snug you want the hoop to fit on your nose, that is something to consider. So the last step is really just considering the type of jewelry that you're wanting. You want to pick your jewelry depending kind of on your aesthetic that you're going for, as well as what's the most convenient for you. So kind of a standard and the most simple would be a captive bead ring, or sometimes as you see on sites is called a CBR. So a captive bead ring is essentially a hoop with a little bead that is held in it. It's super simple, and it kind of is like that simple, but like bringing a little bit of awareness to the piercing. What's really cool about captive bead rings is that they range a whole variety of materials, colors, and then the ball can be a gem or it can be just a simple stainless steel ball or titanium ball, depending on the material that you're choosing for your hoop. That one's pretty easy. There's a large variety you can choose from, so definitely check out our site. We have so many of those. Next is another standard in the piercing industry for a septum piercing is going to be a circular barbell. So circular barbell is not a complete circle, but almost a horseshoe. So it sits in your septum just like this, and the end has two balls attached to it. So this one is really cool. Also comes in a whole variety of materials, and you can switch out the balls to be just normal plain metal balls, or you can add gems to those as well, add gem balls to those as well. Next is going to be a seamless hoop. On our site, we offer a couple different types of seamless hoops, but you have a seamless hoop that's a clicker. So it looks like a seamless hoop, and it has a little clicking bit that just opens, and that way you can put the jewelry in and just click it closed. Another type of seamless hoop is without a clicker, and it just has like a little cut in the metal. And so if you ever get one of these, or you get one put in your nose by a piercer and you want to switch it out, here's how you do it. When you open a seamless hoop, you want to push one side away from you and pull one side towards you, kind of making a little spiral. You never want to open a seamless hoop directly open like that. The reason for that being is it's going to weaken the integrity of the metal, and it's also going to be pretty much impossible for you ever to get that to be a perfect hoop again. It's probably not going to happen. So don't open your hoops like this. You're going to push one side back and pull one side forward into making a little screw, and then putting it back is the same. Just go ahead and put it right back into place. Another option is going to be a D-ring. So pretty self-explanatory. It is what it sounds like. It is a D turned on its side. The straight part is the part that goes through the piercing, and the curved part is this part that sits on the outside around your septum. This is really good for creating that snug look. If you're wanting something that sits really snug to your septum, isn't hanging out too far, this is the perfect type of jewelry for that. Also comes in a variety of colors and materials. And then lastly would be a retainer. So retainers kind of are used for if you have maybe like really strict parents or strict school or job that doesn't allow you to have facial piercings. These are just kind of jewelry styles that are designed to be flipped up and to be kept up. But just because retainers are designed to do that doesn't mean that you can't flip them down and show them. I know there's kind of like a staple style that kind of looks like that, and the flat part sits in your piercing and the bottom and the two legs kind of hang out. I love this style. I think it looks super cool and edgy, and it also comes in a variety of colors and materials, so it's something you can play around with. That's kind of why I love jewelry, is it's totally up to you and totally up to your aesthetic and your vision for your face. And then moving on, so that's kind of the standard jewelry for initial sizes of piercings. But there's always the option to stretch your septum. So if that's something that you want to do, you kind of have a little bit more variety with jewelry styles. So with a stretched septum, you can go ahead and choose like a pincher. A pincher is kind of what it sounds like, little pinching claws. A little pincher on the side, and it is thick in the middle and tapered on the side. Typically, these are held in with O-rings on each side of the septum to keep the jewelry from moving around. And it kind of resembles like a circular barbell, almost like that horseshoe shape, but without the balls on the end, obviously. And what I love about these are they're super indigenous looking. So these are actually most piercings were practiced by indigenous peoples to begin with, and this type of jewelry is one of those more primal looking jewelries. So it comes in a whole variety of different materials, from wood, bone, horn, glass, steel, gold, titanium, pretty much anything you can think of, and we carry it. So definitely check out ubj.com. Next would be a tusk. So these are my personal favorites. I think they look so rad. Also very primal looking. So similar to a pincher, it's just a little bit more stretched out. So it's kind of like a curved, it's a tusk. It's a curved bar that goes through. Same concept as a pincher. It's thick in the middle and it's tapered at the ends, but typically it's not held in with an O-ring just because it is a little bit straighter. Also ranging in all kinds of materials: bone, stone, wood, gold, all the things. Lastly are spikes and bars. So kind of similar. Spikes are similar to tusks, just straight. So perfectly straight across, also thick in the middle, tapered at the ends, also in a variety of materials, also worn by indigenous cultures. So also kind of giving that primal look. And then lastly are bars. So kind of like a retainer, you can get smaller ones that just kind of sit in your nose and you don't have to worry about it. Or you can get these really cool ones that we have on the site that look like mustaches. So basically, like, you know, forget gender roles. If you want a mustache, you can have a mustache. Pick your thickness, pick your size of your mustache or the style of the mustache you want, and go with it. And there also is a plug. Like, you can just put plugs in there if you're looking for something to just hold that stretched piercing open, but you're not wanting anything to show necessarily. So yeah, that's basically it. I mean, there's so much to choose from, but the most important things to remember are the size of the jewelry you're looking for, the diameter if you're wanting that looser or more snug look, and then the type of jewelry that you want. And if you just can't decide, you can never go wrong with a gold hoop.